Hi, my name is Lee Bennett, and I'm here with my wife, Annie Bennett, and we're doing a role play of the 10-step buyer process from a book called Ninja Selling. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how I work with my buyers as far as the steps I take before going out and touring properties. I want to offer you my pen. This is a personal pen.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, I'm going to be asking you a few questions if you don't mind. Do you mind if I write notes?
That's fine.
Okay. I would like to ask you, where are you living now?
I live in New Tampa, Florida.
Okay. Do you own your current home?
I do.
Okay. And then how long have you owned it?
7 years.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your home and what motivated you to buy that home, the reason why you bought that particular home.
The reason why I bought that particular home, which is a 4-bedroom, 3 full baths, 2,500 square feet. It's a 2-level home. Mm-hmm. It's in Wesley Chapel, a subdivision called Avalon Park. And what made me buy the home is the builder.
Okay. Now, about how many homes have you owned in your lifetime?
I've owned about 4 homes in my lifetime.
When you purchased your current home, what was the process you used to find it, and how did you start looking?
So with this last home, I did the work myself. I did not use a realtor. And I looked online to the builders in the area, and I looked at their floor plans. Then once I did that, once I figured out, narrowed it down to whom I want to use and according to their floor plans, then I went and started looking at the homes.
Okay.
And then I purchased the home that I liked it.
Okay. And then what did you do next?
Once I selected the home, I went ahead and purchased the home.
Okay. Now, how long did that take to find that home?
That process took about 3 months.
Okay. Now, how did that process work for you?
It did not work.
Okay.
Because it took a lot of my time. And so this time, that's why you're here, to use a realtor so you can use your specialties.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to change about this purchase?
No, no.
Okay. Now, if you could wave a magic wand to have this process go just the way you want it to go, what would that look like?
What it will look like is I'm going to use a realtor this time.
Okay.
And so that's, like I said, save on my time.
Now, are you familiar with the current market conditions here in North Tampa?
I am not.
Okay. I prepared a packet of information for you that has everything you need to buy real estate here in North Tampa. Okay. In this packet, I have a copy of the loan application you will be using when you talk to a mortgage loan originator. And the purpose of this is so that you'll have an idea of what they'll be asking for you.
Okay.
This is a buyer net sheet, and based on the prices that we discussed on the phone, I've created this, and I could, tailor it based on the house that we actually find. But this gives you an idea of what your down payment would be and your closing costs and the fees from the title company.
Okay.
This is a copy of the contract that we'll be using to write the offer, and we'll go through these paragraphs so I can explain that to you, and if you have any questions, we'll be able to get that taken care of today. This is a copy of the seller disclosure. Basically, what the seller of the property does is go through and they check off what they know and disclose what they may know about the property. And if we happen to find a house that hasn't been occupied, then they'll just say they never occupied the home. Several homes that you sent me are in a HOA community, and so this is a disclosure letting you know about what the fees are and when they're due.
Okay.
There's a few of them that's in a CDD district, and this is the form that lets you know what those fees are.
Okay. Now, if I do not want a CDD, is there somewhere on the MLS or the site that you're talking about that excludes that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is an agency agreement. This is the agreement that we'll sign before we leave today, saying that basically it's like signing a contract that I will be your realtor.
Okay.
This is a copy of my personal portfolio with my resume and all the information about me and some reviews that you can see from previous customers.
Okay.
This is a copy of my personal buyer's guide. This, you can read this at your leisure and give you opportunity to help you learn about the process that we'll be going through when we work together to help you find your next home.
Okay.
All right.
Do all realtors do this?
It's something that I do personally, just from experience. It helps cut down on, and allows the process to go a lot more seamless when you have opportunity to take a look at the packet before we actually go out to a properties. Mm-hmm. So when we get together, we can have an informed, intelligent conversation about what we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
So I use what's called a funnel process, and basically you can look at it as a big funnel, and all the properties that are inside the MLS, the multiple listing service, all realtors who are part of the association have access to this MLS, and this is where all the properties on the market within the MLS are stored.
Okay.
Also, we take a look at for sale by owners. We'll look at properties that are online like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. And so we want to put everything in there. I mean, this is like thousands of properties. We'll narrow it down to like hundreds. And the goal is to get down to about 10 to 12 properties before we actually go out and start driving around looking at homes.
Okay.
And the way we do that is I'll have you draw a T on a piece of paper. And what I want you to do is write down the things that you want in your home. And the whys, and the feature and benefits.
Okay.
And then once you do that, I want you to put a star by 3, the most important ones. And this is how we actually identify the criteria that we'll use to make the search. Okay. Now, in my experience, I've never worked with a customer that found 100% the perfect home. Typically, if we can get to 85%, I consider that a win. And what I'm talking about is, I've had customers that were looking for 4-3 in a cul-de-sac, and we found that, but when they walked inside the house, it may not be the color they wanted. The floor may need to be changed. But if we can get to 85%, in my experience, we have a win.
Okay, thank you.
Now, are you familiar with the 1% equals 10% rule?
I have not.
So the 1%, 10% rule, 1% equals 10% rule says that for every 1% increase in interest rate, you lose 10% of your buying power.
Okay.
And here's an example. For a 4.5% 30-year fixed rate mortgage, for a $200,000 mortgage, the monthly payment would be $1,013.
Okay.
If the interest rate were to increase by 1% to 5.5%, your buying power will be decreased to $178,476 mortgage. Okay, and it works in the opposite too. If the interest rate were to be reduced, you will increase your buying power by 10%.
Okay. So I noticed here that the mortgage still stay the same, and I know a lot of time buyers they're focused on the mortgage payment, the monthly mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. So, but I see the mortgage amount is different.
Yeah, because at that interest rate, you could afford a $200,000 mortgage. Okay. But if the interest rate went up 1% to a 5.5, you would decrease your buying power.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
All right. Thank you. It was nice meeting with you.
Thank you. Look forward to working with you.
All right.